Hello everyone, this presentation is going to be about renewable energy and its application in Kazakhstan. The presentation was done by Leyla Akhmetova, Abeldinova and Meiirkhan. The presentation will describe what is renewable energy, types of renewable energy, exactly what is solar, wind, bioenergy, hydroelectric power and geothermal energy. Also, the presentation will describe types of renewable energy in Kazakhstan and its application. Renewable energy. Renewable energy is energy that is generated from natural processes that are continuously replenished. This includes sunlight, geothermal heat, wind, tides, water, and various forms of biomass. This energy cannot be exhausted and is constantly renewed. Alternative energy is a term used for an energy source that is an alternative to using fossil fuels. Generally, it indicates energies that are non-traditional and have low environmental impact. Types of renewable energies are solar, wind power, hydroelectric energy, biomass or bioenergy, hydrogen and fuel cells, geothermal energy. This presentation is going to tell about all these types except hydrogen and fuel cells because of time limitation. Solar energy, what is it? Solar energy works by capturing the sun's energy and turning it into electricity for your home or business. Our sun is a natural nuclear reactor. It releases tiny packets of energy called photons, which travel the 93 million miles from the sun to Earth in about 8.5 minutes. Every hour, energy photons impact our planet to generate enough solar energy to theoretically satisfy global energy needs for an entire year. Solar panels are one of the most common forms of renewable energy. Solar panels. They work by converting the sun's energy into electricity. Photovoltaic cells are sandwiched between semiconducting materials, normally silicon, but it can also be glass or polymer resin, with different electronic properties to create an electric field. When photons hit the solar panels, the semiconducting materials energize. This is known as the photoelectric effect and that creates the current needed to produce electricity. Solar panels require little to no maintenance after installation. They don't create any noise or pollution and are environmentally safe. The next type of renewable energy is wind power. Wind power converts the kinetic energy in wind to generate electricity or mechanical power. This is done by using a large wind turbine usually consisting of propellers. The turbine can be connected to a generator to generate electricity, or the wind uses it as mechanical power to perform tasks such as pumping water or grinding grain. As the wind passes the turbines, it moves the blades, which spins the shaft. There are currently two different kinds of wind turbines in use, the horizontal axis wind turbines and the vertical axis wind turbines. Horizontal axis wind turbines are the most common wind turbines, displaying the propeller of fan-style blades, and the vertical axis wind turbines are usually in an egg-beater style. To create electricity from wind, the shaft of turbine must be connected to a generator. The generator uses the turning motion of the shaft to rotate a rotor which has oppositely charged magnets and is surrounded by copper wire loops. Electromagnetic induction is created by the rotor spinning around the inside of the core, generating electricity. The electricity generated by harnessing the wind's mechanical energy must go through a transformer in order to increase its voltage and make it successfully transfer across long distances. Power stations and fuse boxes receive the current and then transform it to a lower voltage that can be safely used by businesses and homes.
Now let's move to bioenergy source. This is a type of renewable energy derived from biomass to create heat and electricity. Biomass refers to any organic matter coming from recently living plants or animals. Biomass is any organic material which has stored sunlight in the form of chemical energy. As a fuel, it may include wood, wood waste, straw, and other crop residues, sugarcane, and many other byproducts from a variety of agricultural processes. We have used biomass energy or bioenergy, the energy from the organic matter, for thousands of years, ever since people started burning wood to cook food or to keep warm. And today, wood is still our largest biomass energy resource, but many other resources of biomass can now be used, including plant residues from agriculture or forestry and the organic component of municipal and industrial wastes. Even the fumes from landfills can be used as a biomass energy source. How does it work? Biomass is a renewable energy source not only because the energy in it comes from the sun, but also because biomass can regrow over the relatively short period of time compared with the hundreds of millions of years that it took for fossil fuels to form. Through the process of photosynthesis, chlorophyll in plants captures the sun energy by converting carbon dioxide from the air and water from the ground into carbohydrates, complex compounds composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. When these carbohydrates are burned, these turn back into carbon dioxide and water and release the energy they capture from the sun. Biomass energy technology applications: biofuels, converting biomass into liquid fuels for transportation; biopower, burning biomass directly or converting it into a gaseous fuel or oil to generate electricity; bioproducts, converting biomass into chemicals for making products that typically are made from petroleum. There are pros and cons of using biomass energy. Bioenergy is a reliable source of renewable energy. We will never have a shortage of waste that can be converted to energy. As long as there is the garbage, manure, and crops, there will be a biomass to create bioenergy. Bioenergy can be stored with little energy loss. As long as there is agriculture, there will be a constant energy source. Bioenergy emits little or no greenhouse gas emissions and is carbon neutral. Bioenergy crops helps stabilize soils, improve soil fertility, and reduces erosion. Bioenergy is a source of clean energy. And disadvantages, which are using wood from natural forests, can lead to deforestation if the forests are not replanted. The cost of harvesting, transporting, and handling biomass can be expensive. Storing and processing of biomass require large amount of space. Some fuel sources are seasonal and may compete with food production in specific cases. Now let's move to the hydroelectric power. Um, it is flowing water creates energy that can be captured and turned into electricity. Like other forms of electricity generation, hydropower uses a turbine to help generate electricity, using the energy of falling or flowing water to turn the blades. The rotating blades spin a generator that converts the mechanical energy of the spinning turbine into electrical energy. The amount of electricity generated from each power plant depends on the quantity of water and the height from which it falls. How does it work? There are three types of hydropower plants, which are impoundment, diversion, and pump storage. Let's start from the impoundment. The most common type of hydroelectric power is an impoundment facility. An impoundment facility, typically a large hydropower system, uses a dam to store river water in a reservoir. Water releases from the reservoir flows through a turbine, spinning it, which in turn activates a generator to produce electricity. The water may be released either to meet changing electricity needs or to maintain a constant reservoir level. The next type is diversion. A diversion, sometimes called run-off river facility, channels of a portion of a river through a canal or penstock. It may not require the use of a dam. The last type is pumped storage. Another type of hydropower called pumped storage works like a battery, storing the electricity generated by other power sources like solar, wind, and nuclear for later use. It stores energy by pumping water uphill to a reservoir at a higher elevation from a second reservoir at a lower elevation. When the demand for electricity is low, a pumped storage facility stores energy by pumping water from a lower reservoir to an upper reservoir. During periods of high electrical demand, the water is released back to the lower reservoir and turns a turbine generating electricity. Let's talk about advantages and disadvantages of hydropower. The first advantage is that it's a renewable energy source. Then it's a clean source. As you may expect, hydroelectric power is one of the green and clean alternative energy sources. Creating power with hydroelectric energy is not contaminating itself. It contributes to development of remote communities, attract construction of highways, industry, and commerce. All these activities serve to uplift the economy of these remote areas, increase access to education and healthcare, and enhance the overall life quality of residents. The lakes that form behind the dam can be used for recreational opportunities, offering activities such as fishing, boating, swimming, and for recreation purposes. What about disadvantages? Interruption of natural water flow can have a great impact on the river ecosystem and the environment. Some fish species and other creatures normally migrate when there is a food shortage or when the breeding season begins. Power plants can be incredibly expensive to build no matter what type you may be building. Hydroelectric power plants are very costly to construct due to logistical challenges like topography, laying foundation underwater, and the materials used to build it. It also might cause conflict. Countries that harbor rich sources of hydroelectric power typically build dams across the river to harness the water. While this act is laudable, it can result in interruption of natural water flow from one specific direction to another. However, if scarcity of water hits that particular area, it can trigger off conflict, and this means water channeled to the dams have to be halted. Also, it can lead to droughts and floods in lower elevations.
So let's talk about the Kazakhstan on the way to renewable energy. Kazakhstan is a vast but sparsely populated country rich in natural resources, located in the center of the Eurasian landmass. In recent years, it has embarked on building a green economy, taking the lead among its Central Asian neighbors. The country has set itself a clear target. By 2030, emissions are supposed to be reduced by between 15 and 25% compared with the 1990 level. In 2013, Kazakhstan adopted the National Concept for Transition to a Green Economy up to 2050, outlining the principles of the green economy and the future development path. The objective is to bring the share of new renewable energy in electricity generation from 0 to 3% by 2020, and then to raise it further to 30% by 2030 and 50% by 2050. Kazakhstan's plans are ambitious, considering the unique circumstances of the country. There is an enormous potential for renewable energy in Kazakhstan, particularly from wind and small hydropower plants. In 2013, the government of Kazakhstan adopted a new law on supporting the use of renewable energy sources. This promotes technology-specific feed-in tariffs for selected renewable energy technologies such as biomass, solar, wind, geothermal, and hydropower, up to 35 megawatt. The cost of the program is estimated at 1,100 billion tenge. The plan aims to install about 1,040 megawatt renewable energy capacity by 2020, including 793 megawatt from wind, 170 megawatt from hydro, and 4 megawatt from solar sources. And Kazakhstan doesn't stop on that. On November 22, 2012, Astana was chosen by the International Exhibitions Bureau at the venue to host Expo 2017, which focused on the future energy issues. The theme of future energy is aimed to concentrate on both the future of energy, but also on the potential energies of the future. Kazakhstan is very aware that the time has come for the world to move from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources. The exhibition gathered and demonstrated vast global developments in the field of energy conservation, as well as latest technology achievements in solar, wind, and water energies. Moreover, the energy for the exhibition itself was obtained from renewable energy sources produced domestically. And now let's move on to the types of renewable energy being progressively developed in Kazakhstan. First one is hydropower. Small hydropower plants are the most rapidly developing areas of use of renewable energy in the country. Thus, in period from 2008 to 2010, the Almaty region introduced 5 small hydropower plants with a total installed capacity of 20 megawatt. One of the important areas of energy efficiency of Kazakhstan's economy is construction of hydroelectric power plants on small rivers operating without retaining dams. Hydropower accounts for approximately 13% of Kazakhstan's total generating capacity, delivering around 7.78 from P15 large hydropower stations. Small and medium-scale hydropower projects have become more popular because of their low cost, reliability, and apparent environmental friendliness. The next one is solar energy. Kazakhstan has areas with high insolation that could be suitable for solar power, particularly in the south of the country. The most significant project in this field, implemented in 2002 in Kazakhstan and financed by the UN, was to install 50 prism solar power plants with capacity of 100 liters of water each and 50 solar stills, using the water from the Sirdarya river to provide the residents of 2 villages in the Aral region for drinking water and heating. The third one is wind energy. Kazakhstan's steppe geography makes it suitable for wind energy applications, and the estimated potential of wind energy that can be economically developed is about 760 gigawatt. About 50% of Kazakhstan's territory has average wind speeds suitable for energy generation, with the strongest potential in the Caspian Sea, central and northern regions. One of Kazakhstan's power companies, Samruk Energy GSC, was recently awarded a $94 million loan from the Eurasian Development Bank to build Kazakhstan's largest wind farm. The project will produce 172 million kilowatt per hours of electrical energy per year and save more than 60 million tons of coal and reduce emissions of greenhouse gases. And the last energy is called bioenergy. Kazakhstan has 76.5 mega hectares agricultural lands, 10 megahectares forest, and 185 megahectares steppe grasslands, providing abundant biomass wastes and residues which have the potential to generate a range of bioenergy services. Kazakhstan produces and exports crops such as wheat, rye, maize, barley, oats, millet, buckwheat, rice, and pulses, which equates to roughly 12-14 of biomass megaton of biomass waste. Biomass wastes are currently poorly exploited, and only 10% of the total volume of the residues is used, mostly as a feed additive for livestock. The proportion of rural households using biomass cook stoves for cooking and heating is currently unknown. Organic wastes are also a potential source of energy, and at least 400,000 households are known to keep cattle, horses, and sheep. Another potential area is the use of biogas, which is produced from the waste of farms and poultry factories. Kazakhstan has a significant number of livestock and poultry. Methane production potential of the waste in cattle is more than 85,000 tons. Potential methane production from wastewater communal services is about 3 million tons. And regarding the barriers to renewable energy, in spite of considerable renewable energy potential, there are still significant barriers to address, including low electricity tariffs, transmission losses, and inefficient technologies, weak regulatory and legal frameworks to stimulate the use of renewable energy in the electricity sector, persistent governmental body reforms, inadequate levels and quality of scientific support, awareness and information barriers, and a high-risk business environment. And the most important and significant barrier is high costs of development of this renewable energy. So to conclude, as the country progresses in its pursuit of the green economy, the future of Kazakhstan's renewable energy sector is promising. With increasing efforts to reduce the risk of renewable energy investment through regulatory and financial optimization, private investment has also grown. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development continues to support Kazakhstan's renewable energy sector growth. It has a number of private and public renewable energy projects in Kazakhstan intended for investments. Some are expected to be signed in the near future, and at the same time, this bank will continue to work closely with the government on improving the existing renewable energy framework. In particular, it plans to assist the country to enhance the bankability of renewable energy projects through improvement in regulations, such as strengthening the role of offtake agreements, which allow renewable energy buyers to purchase or sell part of a producer's output in the future. Thank you for your attention.